Hello, Bonjordi, and welcome to the Cruise Ship Diaries with me, Gary Walsh, the podcast where I talk all things cruising, what it's like to live and work on board a cruise ship. I have been working at sea on and off for the past 13, 14 years now, so I have a lot of information to give for those of you who are interested in working at sea, and also lots of funny stories and anecdotes for those of you who are intrigued by what it is like to be a crew member working on board a cruise ship. We are also on all social medias, TikTok, Facebook and Instagram, so make sure that you give us a little follow at the Cruise Ship Diaries. Today I am joined by a very, very special guest and one of my best friends in the world. We met together doing a land-based job in the south of England, and although it was a rocky start, which you'll hear about, our friendship grew and grew, and I am genuinely do not know what I would do without this woman in my life. She is an amazing dancer, an amazing person, and I'm so thankful that she has agreed to come on the podcast. So here with her account in the Cruise Ship Diary, this is the wonderful Megan-Lea Haworth. Right.
I'm gonna laugh at you. I'm really
That's
sorry.
alright. We can laugh because it's fine, because I think this is funny doing it with you, so I will talk about that.
Oh, okay. Right then.
Alright. Are you ready? This is where I get all... We're just talking the same. We're just
Let
talking
me
the
let me put it here first. Okay. Right. I'm stressed out.
Right,
You
don't be
should
stressed. It's all good.
you should have started recording from the beginning.
I know, and then just cut it all together.
Let me put the lip balm on.
Come on.
Okay.
And Megan-Lea joins me now. Here we are.
Hi, Gary.
Oh, this is so funny. Right, we're laughing. Let's start this off. We're laughing because we're really, really, really good friends.
Yeah.
So it's not awkward, but to be
I
in
feel
this
like I'm
setting
in
with
an
each other.
interview, if I'm completely honest.
Yeah,
I'm auditioning or something for a job.
well, definitely not with me. So
No host.
it's all good. But first of all, how are you, Megan-Lea?
I'm all good, my love. How are you?
I am very well, thank you. Very tired. I've done 6 hours of radio this morning, so I'm very tired.
Busy lad.
A bit delusional, but we're all good.
Still got his hat on, don't worry, everyone.
Still got my hat on, got my glasses on. Because I was in at 6 o'clock this morning. I was like, I'm not doing my hair.
I did see that someone said that you looked like a character. What was he called?
What's it called? Wait there.
Bippity or Bib? No.
Bib. Oh, wait there. Let's get it up again. Wait there.
You look
What's it?
exactly alike. It's the
I know.
glasses and the hat put together.
Blippy.
Blippy. I was thinking when you were like, oh, let's Google it, I thought, I think this is going to be something bad.
No, so did I. That's why I Googled it. But thankfully, it wasn't too offensive or anything bad. That's why I posted it.
Oh, Lord.
I'd never heard of it before. But anyway, right. We're not here to talk about me and Blippy,
No.
right?
We're here to talk about me.
We're
Welcome
here
to
to
the
talk about you, which I love. Right, so dancer.
Yeah.
Cruise ship performer.
Yeah.
Smashing it.
Yeah.
Let's get there.
Smashed it. That's about
Smashed it.
Yeah.
Look, right. So let's start at the beginning. Let's start. How old were you when you started dancing? Where did you just explain a little bit about the dance school you went to, going to college, and then we're gonna get into the ships.
I'd say I probably started dancing at like 6 or 7, standard age for a little girl dancer.
Yeah.
Just a little dance school called Northern Star Dancing, which is in the hometown where I live. Basically grew up there. The principal was like my second mum. Grew up there, and then I think it kind of got to like the end of high school and I was like, I'm terrible at everything else. Let's just try and pursue a career in performing. And the principal of my dance school actually took me to an audition at a college,
Mm-hmm.
and then ended up getting in. But this college was in Ellesmere Port. So if anyone knows the northwest of the UK, they'll know that it's across the water, so it's the other side of Liverpool.
Right.
It's not even classed as Liverpool; it's classed as Cheshire West. So in the car, it's about an hour away, maybe. Um, I decided to go there because I'd heard so many good things on the training. I had multiple people from my dance school that used to go there. Um, and they all then went on to professional careers in dance. I didn't want to go to a normal college,
Yeah.
all of my other friends at school, because I was just like, I'm not brainy enough to do like maths, psychology on the side, and a bit of dance. I was like, I need to go full whack. Because this dance school that I went to since being a baby was just a freestyle dance school. Like I used to do freestyle disco as a kid.
Like
So,
these runs.
yeah, all that, like no technique, all again, no idea. Like, so
That's really weird because knowing you as a dancer, I don't see that in you
no,
now.
because I was such a terrible freestyle.
All right.
Too lanky and way too lanky for that. I used to be really good at like the slow section and the rock and roll. Was there for
There
rock
she
and
is.
roll. So yeah, when I went there, I was like, this is where I'm gonna get my technique and my foundations, which
Yeah.
was really late, considering like what year do you go to college?
16?
16, is it? 15,
Yeah.
16? I went to college and that's when I first started ballet. That's when I had my first ballet lesson, my first tap lesson, like contemporary first like street dance as it was called back in the day. That was all
Commercial.
commercial. That was all my firsts. Like I'd never done ballet before ever. Um, and then I signed up for a 2 year course, ended up being a 3 year course. Something happened along the way with the college, and my diploma ended up going from a 2 year diploma into a 3 year
Mm.
diploma, which was fine because I got an extra year of training. But obviously, that put me a year back. So when I left college, I would have been 20 instead of 19.
Yeah.
Something stupid like that. Which is fine. And then obviously, when it gets to that last year of college, it's just auditions, auditions, auditions. I had that get up and go drive at that age. Like I was waking up every morning, 5:30. I'd get my mum would sometimes take me from home to the other side of Warrington, drop me off at Warrington Bank East Station. I'd get a train from there to Frodsham, and then I'd get a bus from Frodsham into Ellesmere Port, and then I'd walk to college. It'd take me hours, and then on the way home, I'd have to walk across Warrington and get an extra train home. It used to take me
Wow.
hours. I was fully committed to the game at that point. I was,
That is commitment, though.
yeah, I was fully committed. I was full time, skinny little mini, fit as anything.
Mhm.
Just literally dance, 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 dance. I came
Yeah.
home, had my dinner, went to sleep, woke up again, did it all again, and then working on the weekends in Primark. Um,
In where, Primark?
Primark,
Love
big
it.
up Primark.
Come on.
I know, right? So did all of that, got to third year of college, audition season happened. And I think out of my year, there was probably only like me and maybe like a couple of other girls that were like, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Because I feel like at that age, you can either go straight out into the industry or you can go to vocational training. And
Mhm.
it wasn't really, I don't really feel like I had that much knowledge on stepping out in the industry at that point of my life. Like I just automatically thought the next step was get into vocational school. Like I was so stuck on the thought of getting into vocational school. I didn't really know where I wanted to go, but in my heart, when I was that age, I was like, I need to get out of the north. I need to go to the south.
Yeah.
So auditioned for
That's what everyone thinks, though, don't they? Like the big London colleges, that's like,
yeah,
you know.
exactly that. Auditioned for Lane, auditioned for London Studio Centre, Bird. I didn't do Erdang because I just knew it wasn't my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Um, Lipper, and then Performers. And oh my goodness, what was that other one in London? Maybe not Arts.
Conti?
Conti.
Yeah.
That was the most awful audition. Conti. And I did all the first round of auditions. And I just remember it being so expensive because it was like £50 minimum per audition.
Mhm.
And then convincing my mum or like my dad to pay for train tickets, drop me off, do whatever, this, that, whatever. But I had it in me and I was like, I am getting into all these schools and I'm going to have the options. And you know what? I did. I smashed it. So freaking good. Got into all the schools, perfect. But the majority of the schools that I auditioned for were private vocational schools,
Yeah.
which you need money for.
Yeah.
For which you then need a dada. And I think I remember after my first round of auditions, I was like, Lane. I want to go to lanes. Like I was like, I want to be a lane girl. Like that was where my heart was at. I was like, I want to go to lane. I remember being chosen to go to the Dada audition. I think I got an offer of like it wasn't even a full scholarship. It was something silly like a half a scholarship or
Yeah.
something that barely covered the sides. Um, and it just got to that point where I was like, I don't think I'm going to be able to go just
It's
because
not affordable.
financially obviously couldn't afford it. Mum's a single parent working a million jobs. She was like, we'll remortgage the house. I was like, no, not for me going to uni. Like, okay, I was like,
Yeah.
it's not worth it. And in the end, I remember sitting there and it was between Lipper and Lane. I was like, we either suck it up and mum will figure something out for me going to Lane because I can't get a scholarship, I can't get any funding.
Yeah.
Or I go to LIPA, which is a full degree with student finance. And
And close to home.
close to home. But that was my con at the time. I
Yeah.
was so stuck in my head. I was like, no, I need to go to the south. I don't want to be so close to home. I need something new and fresh. And then I think I just got to the end of it and I was like, I'm just gonna have to go to LIPA. Just gonna have to go to LIPA. And I remember being so sad about it. It's just so bad. I remember being so sad about it. But I was like, it's just the way it's gonna have to go. I was like, listen, it's training at the end of the day. It's still a great school. Otherwise, I wouldn't have auditioned there. Like I already kind of knew where I wanted to go.
Yeah, you had to sacrifice that living, that
Yeah.
London dream, I guess.
But when I think about it now, it's so silly because if someone said to me tomorrow, "You want to move to London?" I'd go, "No."
No, thank you. Not at those prices.
No,
I'm
the
good.
North is elite, and I'll keep it.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, and yeah, going to Liverpool was probably the best thing that I ever did, honestly. And you know me, I will not speak of something highly if I don't think of it highly at all. Like I
I
am
know.
not one to pretend that everything's all sunshine and roses when it's not. But Liverpool was a game changer. I obviously went through a lot of phases there. Um, but yeah, I don't think I could have gone through what I went through if I wasn't at Lipper.
And you did 3 year.
Well,
Hmm.
it's a 3-year course, but
Yeah.
I ended up doing 4 years because in my second year I had to drop out and get hip surgery.
Yeah.
So that was fun. I tore the cartilage in my hip socket, which is apparently very normal for athletes because dancers aren't athletes.
Well, our bodies aren't supposed, yes, we are, but our bodies aren't supposed to do what our bodies do. So,
Not at all. So yeah, ended up tearing the cartilage. It wasn't like a sudden injury. What I learned as like I went on with the injury is that it was
hmm
kind of a long lasting injury that I just kind of wasn't aware of. Basically, I was overly flexible and not strong enough. My femur had grown an impingement at the top of my hip, so like the top of my leg, inside my hip and ball, like my ball and what's it
Mm.
called? Your ball and socket joint, right in
Yeah.
my hip. It had grown an impingement, and it had grown the impingement because it's been so used to my range of movement, and I've had such a large range of movement. It's grown that trying to protect me from dislocating. By it growing that, it's been wearing at my cartilage throughout the years. Um, so yeah, discovered that. So my 3-year course ended up becoming a 4-year course.
Wow.
So I got set back another year in my career because I decided to go to uni, and then that turned into another year. Um, that's a whole story in itself. But I graduated in 2020, and that was COVID. So I
Oh my
lost another
goodness.
year of my career from COVID.
So you graduate during a time where there's no industry,
Literally
like
nothing.
it's done. I'm guessing, you wouldn't have done a showcase for
No. Oh,
agents. You would,
actually, we managed to get it in at a really good time. So in Lipper, for your third year, you do two shows. In the first term, you do a musical, and in the second term, you do like your final
yeah.
editing show. Because then your third term, because we're a degree, is all about your dissertation, your final assessments, mock auditions. They get like
Hmm.
agencies in X, Y, and Z. Um, so yeah, luckily we got our final showcases in, but all of our final assessments, like physical assessments, were so rushed. It was literally like an email one Wednesday night or something crazy, and it was like,
Yeah.
we know we've not prepared any assessments, but tomorrow we will be filming every single class. That'll be
Because the world's about to end.
you'll be going and you'll be leaving on Friday. And we were like, okay,
Oh.
excellent. Um, so yeah, that was a bit of a shitter. I have to bleep,
So
have to bleep that out.
that's no, we don't have to bleep, we'll just put an explicit on your sound, you can swear. So you're now 24.
Me?
No, not now. At this
Oh,
point where we're talking. You're 23, 24 as you graduate, right? You're a late graduate.
how old would I have been? Yeah, 24.
Yeah.
Well, when did I graduate? 20. Yeah, so it was 5 years ago, and I'm 28 now. Do the math.
Yeah. 23. There you go.
Listen, I count to eight for a living.
I know, I keep saying that. Uh, but that's old to graduate, and like you say, because of your setbacks and because of all those things, here he is.
Here
Look
he
at
is, the star of the show with a donut on his head.
him. For anyone who's just listening, Meg's dog has just come in. Rappy is up there, and he's a giant. He's a Doberman, right?
Yeah,
He's
he's a
giant.
and he thinks he's a baby. Please get down. Please.
He's so cute.
It was bound to happen at some
No,
point.
it was. It's all right. We were expecting it at some point. So, because like obviously because of your setbacks, that's like old. It's old as a dancer to graduate. Do you know what I mean?
Very.
So, and
Especially
then
because of my like two knockbacks before it. Well,
yeah,
the first one wasn't a knockback, but it was just an inconvenience leaving college a year
yeah,
later. And
yeah,
then, yeah, the hip surgery put me back another year, and then COVID.
yeah.
Like
Which
it's so
then,
silly because people are like, God, you're 28, you're still so young. And I'm like, haha, you're not in the performing arts industry because I am not 28. I'm basically 30.
yeah.
And that's the OAP bracket.
No, it is though.
I don't know what,
It's
I don't know
it's
what you are.
silly.
I don't know what you are, but
I'm on death's door.
often dodger this one.
So you have to wait such a long time for like any auditions or anything like that, for any jobs to come around. And then this job came around
Mhm.
for a land-based job
Yeah,
on, I'm gonna say what it is, on
yeah,
a holiday park,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Where I was, and this is where we
Ah,
met.
we
This is how we met.
met
It was a
Jerry Walsh.
this holiday park contract. You were just employed for the winter season, right? So like over Christmas, the Christmas
Yeah,
shows. As a dancer aerialist.
correct.
You were. And this is where we met. We
Mhm.
did rehearsals. What did you think of me in rehearsals when you first met me?
Do you
Go on.
want me to say?
Yeah, say what you want.
I thought he was a massive knobhead. No, you weren't a massive knobhead. Gary is just the type of person when you meet him for the first time in a work environment, he's a lot to handle. And I'm not very good with men in general. Let's put it that way.
And
And,
you weren't, especially at that time. You and
and she,
the one of the let's say the other female, the other
the other
female.
female, about there was two more females. The
No,
female
singer
singer.
dancer. The singer dancer.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, she was.
She was.
Yeah,
let's just say her name because I think that's going to be confusing. I'll
she
ask her
knows.
if we.
Hi, Siobhan.
Hi, Siobhan. I'll ask her if we can say her name, right? And you two were going through a period where you hated men.
No, 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 that's not a period for me. I've just always hated men.
Right, okay. So but at that point I think someone had just pissed you off or like something had happened.
Something had happened, but me and Siobhan had mutual
Yeah.
connections, even though we had just met for the first time.
And
And
I was trying to
girls be girls.
yeah. But I was trying to be like nice and chivalrous and
No, you
cordial
weren't. You weren't trying to be chivalrous.
and you just weren't having any of it.
Gary is just this knowledgeable old man in his head, guys, and this is what you have to deal with. And he's like, "Oh, but back in my day, piss off, old man." Piss off, yeah. Like- Basically, me and Gary butted head a bit at the beginning because you had opinions and you were open to talking about them, and I had opinions and I was open to talking about them. But then
Yeah.
we just kind of found this love-hate relationship,
There's common ground.
and it blossomed from there.
We didn't like argue or anything though.
No,
It
it
was
was
more
just
like we were just very I think we just clashed, didn't we? Our
yeah, it
personalities
was
just
just like
clashed a bit.
heavy banter,
Yes.
lasting heavy banter.
Yeah, but I didn't take it as banter at
Yeah,
first.
Gary just thinks everything's flirting, and I was like, "Listen here, old man, you're not my type. You never will be my type. Stop it."
So now we're really, really close, which is
Now we're just
amazing.
now we're just the best of friends, and it's
Yeah.
just yeah,
And
great.
I'm very grateful to have you in my life, and I'm very grateful that you and Siobhan were there at
Likewise,
that time, you
I
know?
know it was all meant to happen for a reason. It was a whirlwind.
It was. And it was a little bit of a whirlwind contract.
It was, yeah.
We were
In
a bit
fact,
tired.
sometimes I think back to that contract, and it feels like a million years ago. And honestly, I remember just not really knowing what was going on half the time.
I don't think any of us did, if I'm being totally honest.
Like, I remember getting on stage sometimes and just being like, "What are we all doing?"
No.
Which isn't me at all. It
No.
just felt so weird, like coming out of a lockdown and then going straight into that contract.
Yeah.
And I was with all you guys that had done professional contracts before, and that was my first. I was just a bit like, what's going on?
Well, it's a little bit intimidating as well. And I think because of the way it was on the park, we were the second cast
Yeah,
for that company. So, but they'd also gone from a bigger cast and made our cast smaller. So we were doing the shows of like I think they had like two to four more people than we had because I'd
yeah.
been there with them before in
Yeah.
as a bloody kids host.
That's how that's how desperate times were,
That's
guys.
how desperate. Exactly. So we were doing like double the amount of work, really. Do you
Hmm.
know what I mean? We didn't have like any extra duties or anything like that. We were just purely doing the
No,
shows.
but it was a lot. Like when I think
Yeah.
back to it, most of the time we were doing like panto, especially because we had to do the pantomime
Yeah.
in the time. I would be hanging out of my ass. Jesus Christ. Like so many days I literally like, can't I
It's
can't go.
because we like wine.
Yeah, honestly. We had a lot of mutual grounds and wine was one of them.
That's where it happened. That's where we settled.
Want a glass of wine? Yeah, perfect.
And then obviously I fell in love. So that then you
Yeah.
were best friends. So you had to like me at that point.
Well, no, I would have hated you. I think you stole my friend off of me. Yeah.
I love it. So that's like us in a nutshell, and that's your first job, which was a lot. Like it was a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like
It was a lot, but it was a good like I wouldn't even say eye opener, but just like
like a
it
little ease into the industry.
yeah, and then it was good having you guys there because you'd done it before, and I had Kim. She had so much experience, like singer side of it, and she's worked with so many amazing companies like cruise liners and stuff like that. But you that's been around the block about 100 times, doing everything, no matter
Yeah.
what. And then Siobhan, who's just like the most stable girl in the world, and she'd take everything and turn it into a positive, and she was just an amazing source of information for me to have.
Yeah.
Even Connor, like it was just such a really good group of people to be around. And I
Yeah.
was like, I think I left that contract and was like, okay, like let's go. Like I remember
Yeah.
just leaving that contract and being like, I'm ready. I'm ready to
Yeah.
just go and get what I want to go and get.
And you did.
And I did. To be fair, yeah, I did. I don't know how I bagged that one, but I did.
You did. After that, you went, you grafted, you auditioned, and then you've got, let's get to it. You got your first cruise ship contract
I did get my first cruise ship contract.
with,
Norwegian Cruise Line.
yeah, and you're still within the company. Let's say you're waiting for a contract. Let's put it to that, potentially.
Waiting for something.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. So, what was your audition process like for NCL?
Um, well, to be fair, me getting in the audition room by itself was a bit of pot luck. So I knew the assistant for the audition, Martina Guns from Jazz.
Yep.
So both Martina and Melissa were able to give us the opportunity to put us forward to be able to audition. And because obviously people who are in the industry know that being in the audition room is hard, but also getting into the audition room is hard enough as it is.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, managed to bag a space. Um, and out of all of my auditions, to be fair, I wouldn't really say it kind of stood out. I don't like it wasn't negative, it wasn't extremely positive. I just remember it being a nice, stern, straightforward audition. Wasn't dragged out all the way through the day, it wasn't multiple days. It felt really brief. Like I remember coming to the end of the audition and being like, I looked around and thought, oh,
That's it. It's done.
I'm going home.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting like cuts and cuts and cuts because I've been to so many auditions where they've done so many cuts before, or
Hmm.
I'll get all the way through one day and then I'd have to go back the next day and do another full day of auditioning and doing different material. But it was, I think when I went in, it was just one combo, cut, another combo, cut, and then there was so many of us in the room. I was
Yeah.
looking around thinking, there's at least 30 people, maybe yeah, like 30 people in the room. And I was like, none of us look the same. So do you know, as a performer, you start to scan the room and you're like, right, what are they after here? Like
What they after? Who could I possibly be paired with? Who,
yeah,
like, yeah.
there was no partner in work, no nothing. I don't think there was even any boys in that audition, if I'm completely honest.
Oh,
Sometimes I think they do the boy auditions separate. Um, no partner in work, none of that. It was literally just the two combos, two cuts, and then we sat there with one of the casting directors, and he was like, "Okay, you've made it to the end. All of you that are in this room will be put on our books, but that doesn't mean that you're guaranteed a job. We will be in contact with you if we find anything suitable for you. Thank you for coming." And I was like, "Okay." And just, I honestly didn't think anything of it.
it was just another audition.
Yeah, Norwegian Cruise Lines has always been on my list of like, it's so funny. I've got a 5-year plan that I made in college that I had to make for an assessment. And I think like halfway through my 5-year plan, it was like cruise line, Norwegian Cruise Line is literally written there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I think my first one was vocational school, and then Norwegian Cruise Line. I was like, how funny, how big headed of me to think that I was going to bash out of school
No,
straight,
that's manifestation, Meg. That's
right,
manifesting it.
straight into a cruise liner. And then my last one, Moulin Rouge. Not got there yet, still waiting.
Yet.
Um, but yeah, I remember being in the audition, and I think I just kind of, I was back in the game, so like you don't really think too much in the auditions. You can't really get caught up in your emotions of being like, and I was just like, cool, okay. And Siobhan was with me at the time. Actually, she was staying at mine. We were in Manchester, and she had gone out with her friends on the Raz. It was off day drinking, and I remember calling her. The audition's finished. She was like, "Cool, I'm here." Went and met up with her. Went and got sloshed. Went home, and
Lovely.
I didn't think anything of the audition. I think because I've gotten to the end of so many auditions and then just never heard anything. It's
Yeah.
just one of them. It's part of the job. Didn't think twice, and then I think a couple of weeks later, I remember exactly the moment. I was going to an open class in Liverpool, and I had my friend in the car with me. And I literally just parked up outside the studio, and she was like, "Oh, you never told me how was the audition for Norwegian?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, it was fine. I got to the end, but it was like nothing else really happened for me." I was like complete. But to be fair, when she even said that, I was sat there like, "What audition?" It had completely like wiped from my brain. I
How
just
long had it been?
not long, only a couple of weeks.
Right, okay.
But you know when you're just not caught up on it, I feel like as a dancer, when you get into an audition, or even when you send that application, you're like that, checking your emails. You're like,
Yeah.
have I heard anything? Have I heard anything? Refresh, refresh, refresh. And I just got into a point of my audition season where I was like, it's fine. Like, if it'll happen, it'll happen. There's no point. Like, what am I supposed to do? Chase them up? Hi, I came to your audition the other week. Not heard anything.
Yeah.
So just left it, and then yeah, she asked me about it, and I was like, oh yeah, it was good. Got to the end. That was about it. Um, Literally picked up my phone and I had an email from Norwegian, and I was
Wow.
like, I was like, I've got an offer. And then that's just kind of how it happened. So they offered me a rehearsal swing position first, um, for one of their, what would we call it? Wow,
Kicking off.
kicking off out there. One of their luxury brands, one of their luxury cruise liners. So, Raphael, I'm on a podcast here. Can you please?
No.
I know he's gonna do it again. What was I saying? Oh, creative studios hold Norwegian Cruise Line, Regent Seven Seas, and Oceania. And Regent and Oceania are like luxury cruise liners. So I was picked for one of their luxury cruise liners. So I then had to go through the process of doing an online interview to make sure that I was suitable for the customer service satisfaction of
Yeah.
the luxury cruise liner, because obviously you're a lot more forward facing with the guests on the luxury cruise liner. You're not just a performer.
It's a bit posher.
So just had to answer a series of questions, have a quick chat so they could get to know me, and then that was it. They pretty much just sent me the offer through. It was just a rehearsal swing, so I wasn't going to fly out to the ship, but they sent me the contract. I had to go and get my visas. Um, I had to go and get my medical done and all of that stuff. And they basically just said like, pack as if you're going away for 7 months, because
Yeah.
we don't know what will happen. If we need you, then you're going. You're not going to go home. And then that was it, really. I think a couple of months later, I started getting everything sorted. The visa application was one of its own, to get
It's
like,
a lot.
yeah, my C1D and my B1 2. That was crazy.
But
My
that's the thing that people don't tell you. Like when you do this audition for a cruise ship, they don't tell you that you've got to get a visa. You've got to contact the embassy in London, like the American embassy. You've got to go stand in a queue. You
That
might.
embassy is petrifying.
It's scary.
Scared. I remember I stayed at my sister's. My sister lives in London, and she was living in South London at the time, like Clapham. And I stayed at hers the night before, and then travelled up. And I think I must have been on the road for a couple of days, so I had like food in my bag and stuff. I had a full tub of biscuit in my bag because I was like, I'm not leaving that at my sister's. I'm taking it home with me, using it
Yeah.
for breakfast. Got to the embassy, they took it off me. They binned my whole jar of Biscoff. I was like, what? What are you on about? And they were like, then it's not allowed in. I was like, why? In case it's got a bomb in it. What you?
Yeah.
What you
But you can't take anything in. I went because I had to get a new visa. The visa lasts 10 years, by the way. So I had to get a new. Exactly.
old?
So I had to get a new visa. I got like quite right to the front of the queue, and they were like, "You're not allowed your bag." So I was like, "But I have like my folder with like all my stuff in." They're like, "You're not allowed your bag. There's a cafe down there that has lockers." So I had to
Yeah.
go and put my bag in a locker, and then I rejoined the queue, and I was stood behind Maya Jama.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Time
So I
to
was like
say.
chatting to Maya Jama, like as I pretended obviously I didn't know who she was and stuff. And she was like, I was like, oh, what? I was like, what do you do? And she was like, oh, I'm in like TV and entertainment. I was like, oh, cool. I was like, she was like, what do you? I was like, same actually,
Yeah,
entertainment.
have you not heard of the Gary Walsh show?
Have you not heard of it's Gary Walsh UK at the time? And she was just saying how like obviously she needed a visa to go to America, same blah blah blah.
That's so
And then
funny that she had to queue up.
yeah, I know. Everybody, I think that's the thing. No matter who you are, everybody has to queue.
When did you go? When was it?
This would have been coming up 3 years ago when I went back to ships. Yeah.
Because I remember when I went, I had that whole situation with the food in my bag.
Mm,
Um, because they were like, "You're essentially stepping onto American territory."
yeah.
Just like making it sound scary. And I was like, respectfully, we're in the centre of London. You can fuck off.
I know it's crazy.
Um, but COVID was still around-ish at that time,
Yeah.
2021, wasn't it? Um, and I didn't have a face mask. I don't know why I didn't have a face mask. My lord, oh lord, I'd queued up, got to the front. Where's your face mask? There was no signs anywhere saying that you needed a face mask because I think at the time we'd stopped using face masks.
Mm,
Um, so I was like, I won't, I don't need one. And they were like, you're stepping onto American territory, and it's still a requirement in America for you to wear a face mask in public places. I was
that's
literally
so
like,
stupid.
I was like, what the hell? I was
I
like, so do
know.
you have any? They were like, no. I was like, how can you make it a requirement but
Yeah.
not have one to give me? They're like, you're gonna have to go to that shop over there and buy one. I was like, what are you on about buy one? I don't need a box of fucking face masks.
No, I know.
And then luckily there was someone in the queue. I was walking up and down the queue being like, does anyone have a face mask? Someone gave me
Even if
one.
it's worn.
Yeah, I don't care. It's just so frustrating because like you apply for it. Sometimes you have to wait months and you get a specific time slot
Yeah.
and you still have to queue outside.
Yeah, the time slot means nothing. Just get there as early as you possibly can in the day. That's my
But to be
advice.
fair, once I was in, it was pretty quick. No
Yeah.
one really asked me any questions either. I thought I was going to get interrogated, but they were just like, "Hmm, yeah." I was like,
There we go.
okay.
Thank you.
And then I remember when I got my passport back in the post, everyone was like, oh, da, da, da. And I was like, I'm still waiting for my visas. I'm still waiting for my visas. I didn't realize that my visa was inside my passport.
Yes, they are.
I thought it was going to come as like a visa.
Stop
I was
it.
just looking through my passport at some point and I was like, oh, oh my God, it's here. I've got it.
C1D, C1D, B1, B2, I can come.
I was like, I've got it. Never mind, send me my flights. But yeah, that and then the medical. The medical is what takes the longest.
Yeah.
That was stressful.
Did you have to get a full medical? Like a full on blood tests, everything?
Yeah, meals. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember. I just know there's a
Yeah.
difference between a full medical because now at Carnival we only need an ANG one, so I can just
Yeah,
basically go
so
get that from my
they're
doctor.
lovely and they literally cost like next to nothing.
Yeah, they're like 100
Luckily,
quid.
Norwegian cruise line cover everything anyway. So like for the
Oh, that's
visa,
good.
for the visas and for the medicals, you pay outright, but they
They reimburse you.
they reimburse you straight away. So that's excellent because that medical that can cost
It's about, I remember, I'm gonna say about 450 to 600 pound.
yeah, mine's always been within that 500 to 600 bracket
Yeah.
because they've had to. The last time I went to renew it, you have to pay separately at different places.
Yes. For your chest X-ray.
Yeah, it was all very confusing. And then they sent me down another road to get my bloods done. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
It's very confusing. So basically what we're saying is if you're auditioning for a cruise ship, make sure you've got at least a grand ready to go.
Yeah, and that isn't even a lie. I put
No.
it all on my credit card because I was like, I don't have it. I don't
Yeah.
have it. And then it's the worst when you come back and your medical's expired and you're like, shit, I've not saved another to go and get this medical. And then you've got to wait to get it reimbursed.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's good that you get it reimbursed though, because some companies don't.
yeah, I know. But then
That's
a
very
lot of
good.
companies you do only need an ENG one.
Yeah.
It's just only like these crazy American cruise
The
lines,
big American corporate ones.
yeah, that
But
like to have the full thing.
yeah. So you get through, let's say you've done it, you get through rehearsals, let's get to the ship content of this,
Yeah.
right? Because this is where it all gets a little bit juicy, and this is where Megan-Lea is ready to be unleashed with her opinions, and I love it.
No, no, I'm gonna be as
Diplomatic,
exactly that.
yes.
Um,
How did how did you find ship life first of all? Getting on board, settling in. Obviously, first cruise ship, it's different. It's a different way of life.
yeah, it's a very big different way of life, isn't it? Like it's a bit of a culture shock to me.
Yes.
Um,
Especially when you're from the north of England and there's actually not much culture here apart from our own.
yeah, and a Greg's. It's
In a
about
Greg's, but that's all we have really up north. We just have pub culture in Greg's.
yeah.
That's it.
So the first time when I got on board for my first contract, so like I did my swing and I was in Florida for quite some time doing
Hmm.
multiple contracts and then finally got my full offer to go on one ship. Um, Luckily I knew quite a few of the people in my cast from when I was in rehearsals the previous time. Um, so that was nice. Had a nice relationship with my cast.
Hmm.
I'm gonna stop a second.
That's all right. He's back.
Mum's back.
Oh,
That's what that means.
that's all right. So let's go. So how is like
Getting on.
initial ship life?
Um, to be fair, it is a culture shock when I first got on, but I think I took it quite well. I think I'm quite used to adapting to different like lifestyles and situations quite easily. But that's just me as a human in general. So I was kind of ready for the change and I prepared myself because I've got so many friends in the cruise industry and was like, right, okay. I was like, I know what I'm getting myself in for. But
We'd prepared you.
yeah, I feel like I had as much preparation as possible, really. Um, and then I remember just that whole first day of my first contract, to be fair, big blur because I was mildly severely hungover slash still very drunk from the night before. We got to Lisbon and we stayed out the whole night in Lisbon. I think we got home at like, back to the hotel at like 3, went to bed at 4, woke up at 6, straight on the ship because they don't tell you that you get on first thing in the bloody morning.
Yep.
Um, so it was just a bit of a blur. I remember it's just endless meetings after meetings, sign-ons, everything, and I'm just like, just signing my life away.
Bragging your cases.
Yeah, ranking my cases up the gangway. Um, it was just a big blur that first like 12 hours. I remember falling asleep in the theatre because my cabin wasn't ready for ages. No one tells you that part as well, how long it takes for your cabin to be like cleaned and turned around after the last
Yeah.
sleep. Because for NCL, we don't have a handover period. That cast leaves and we join the same day.
Yep.
So the install process is super quick. So that was probably the biggest shock of them all. I was just like, oh, okay. I remember being sat in the theatre. They did a big talk with the entertainment team there, and the cruise director, and our cast, our director that came with us from Florida, all the tech team, and it was like, right, okay, it's like 1 p.m. now. We'll be back here at what time? 10 p.m. Ready to start install. And I was like, right, okay. And then I remember everyone just kind of split, and me and my roommate, we were both brand new to ships at the time. And it's one of them like, I'm good with directions, but put me on a ship. I was like,
Not a clue.
you know, when you just don't have a clue. And I was like, all I can tell you is that I am in the theatre, and that is it. I
Well,
don't
it's like a maze, isn't it? Because they're all just small corridors.
more corridors, and where our theatre was on that ship was at the very bow of the ship, and it's spread across 2 different levels as well. So obviously, if you were to exit in a guest area, you could exit on deck 6 or you could exit on deck 7. There were other doors, but all the doors, like, do you know when it's like crew access only or something access only? I was like,
Or a fire exit.
yeah, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm allowed through and what I'm not allowed through. It's one of those where you're like, I'm scared to do something in case something blows up. So that was my first kind of like 12 hours. I fell asleep in the theatre, woke up, my cabin mate was like, the cabin's ready, we can go. Found the cabin after God knows how long. Um, and I wouldn't say I was shocked by it. I was just like, it is what it is. Let's just
Yeah.
like, we'd already settled on who was having what bunk um prior to it. So that was that, unpacked, probably had a nap, and then it was just all systems go for install then, really, wasn't it? And our install process, like I said, is only one cruise. So we had to get the first show up within, I think we did 2 days of install, and then we had to get it up. The same with the next show, another 2 days, and then our final show we had a bit longer because there's a massive set involved with our third show that took a lot more, and so many mad costumes and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
It's intense. It's like bam, 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 let's get this done, let's get that done.
Yeah, and it's not even because like you wake up at stupid time in the morning, install until the afternoon, then the
Yeah.
thing news you've got a couple of hours in the afternoon, and then you're right back at it 10 p.m. to like 2, 3 a.m. in the morning. It was a lot, and then like trying to figure out where I can eat, I can eat, like what I can do, what I can't do, and then the safety exams, all of these, you've still got so many sign-on meetings throughout the whole of install.
All the trainings, all the new drills.
Figuring out how to get off the ship. I remember that.
What's
That
a gangway?
yeah, that was, and then finding the gangway because
Yeah.
every day it's on a different place. I remember that being a big awakening, and then as soon as install was done, sitting down with cruise staff, the assistant cruise director, and then being like, okay, here's your uniform, here's your duties, go. And I was like, uniform? Uniform? You want me to wear a uniform? I was like, what's going on here? And I'd say probably the biggest shock that I had going into it was all the additional requirements that are expected of the dancers, no matter what cruise line you're on. I think I was always kind of under the assumption that the big American cruise liners don't use their dancers as much for things like crew staff duties and extra duties, but they very much do.
They really do.
It's just very well, I wouldn't even necessarily say hidden, but it's just not spoken about. Like from so many of my friends that have
And
worked.
it's very vague in your contract because it's basically whatever comes down to the cruise director's discretion. That's kind of how it's put.
Yeah, which to my like obviously when I got my first contract with NCL and it was for the luxury liner, I knew that I would be a forward facing guest. I knew that I would be doing
Yeah.
X, Y, and Z. But also for those luxury liners, the entire cast was forward facing. Singers, singer dancers, and dancers were all on the same level,
Yeah.
with the same amount of duties, and they have set duty days. So there's a 12-person cast. Everyone has one day every 12 days where they can't get off the ship and they have a full duty day. And
Yeah.
that's just the way it is. Whereas when I came onto NCL, it's just kind of like a free for all. The singers have senior officer privileges, um, ginormous. I wouldn't even call it a cabin, mostly a suite, on a completely different floor, all the way forward, so far away from us. We were so separated as a cast,
Yeah.
um, which was strange because you get used to the, what would you call it? Like,
The
you,
hierarchy.
yeah, you get used to the hierarchy in the industry
Yeah.
anyway. But that was a big shock, especially on that ship, because I was like, oh, okay, like they are removed from us. It's
Yeah. Let's talk about that with NCL because you have different colored cards depending on your privileges, right?
yeah,
So
well,
like
on your
singers, your what, sorry?
position, like that's
Yeah.
what I'm hired as. Yeah,
So basically singers will have like one colored card and they're allowed in like certain restaurants and all these places
we're allowed
and
everything basically.
right.
So they don't have any side duties, they have no safety duties, and they don't have IPM either, which IPM is import manning for people.
Yeah. Yeah. We've talked about that before.
Yeah. So they have full guest privileges. They can go to all restaurants, anytime, any dining, anything, and nothing else to do other than the shows they've done in rehearsals. Whereas they also get room service. Well, used to get room service, which was that was the worst part because you'd finish doing God knows how many shows.
Yeah.
You'd be ravenous because you've missed all of the buffet times and the crew mess times because you've been in rehearsals. Like you do tech and then you've done a double show.
Mm-hmm.
You'd get out everywhere. It's absolutely ravenous. But don't worry, the singers can go and order room service for themselves. I was like, you've done nothing. You've done nothing. What are you on about? That was the worst part. So yeah, they've got that hierarchy, and then the dancers are kind of like middle level. So we are allowed in guest areas, certain guest restaurants and like main dining restaurants, and we do have safety duties and other side duties, which are known as crew staff duties.
It's silly though, because there's, you know what I mean? Like your one cast, there's no difference. Like, and this is the thing, and some companies still have it, like, you know, like NCL, like, and we're all the same. We've all done the same training. We're all in the same show.
It's just
like,
so crazy how like
it's very old school.
creative studios are all together though.
Yeah.
And Regent, NCL, and Oceana are all together. It's so different.
And then you get on board.
And I know it differs from ship to ship within the fleet as well.
Yeah.
Because I know so many people that work on a different NCL ship and they're like, oh God, no, like they don't have yellow cards, or the whole cast. So like back in the day, way before COVID, the whole cast had yellow cards, dancers and everything. Like they'd pick up a few extra side duties, like gangway, like stuff and embarkation, but the privileges were semi-level, whereas when I went in, it was kind of just so that was a real big shock. I remember having a bit of a hissy fit about it because I was like, I don't mind putting in the graft. I really don't. Like I've grafted all my life. I've like all the years that I've been in training, I've still had a hustle on the side. Like every weekend, I will be working 12 to 13 hours because.
And you know them. We've just got that work ethic in us.
Yeah, Northern and don't have any money. Like I don't come from a big luxurious privileged lifestyle at home. I just ask my parents for money and be okay and I survive. So like I've had to grind and I don't mind continuing to grind, but when you've finally got your dream job and then you get there and they're like, no, you can't get off the ship today and you have to go and stand at the gangway for 6 hours saying goodbye to everyone.
It's crazy.
At 5 a.m., 6 a.m. in the morning, telling people to get in a straight line, or like you're responsible of so many lives when you step on the ship. Like, I'm like, whoa. I literally count 5, 6, 7, 8 and do a couple of flip ball changes, and you are leaving me in charge. Like 160 lives on this ship.
The safety of all of these people. It's mad. I know.
And that's crew and guests, and like that's just my station. So it was a big eye opener. And I remember one of the male singer dancer in my first class is one of my really good friends. He sat me down and was like, it took me a while to adjust to it too, but he was like, you just kind of need to remember that you've been hired as a seafarer first and a dancer second.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, what the hell do we work so hard for? Like, what have I broken my body for? To come and sit in the fucking library for 4 hours a day.
Yeah, I
like,
know.
People think I'm a librarian on that shit. And then
that's the thing though, when you're not on the stage, they don't realise that that's your job, even though it says it on your name badge. Like, no, they don't get it.
They're like, you're a librarian as well as a dancer. I'm like, no, I'm just a bloody dancer. I just get put in here because I fucking have to.
I know.
Like, get your books, get out.
Meg, let's move on to for me, I want to talk to you about as a female dancer. I don't feel like image comes into it a lot for male performers. I've never had to like really consider it, but it's like a really big thing for you.
Mhm.
Like, and the reason I really asked you to do this is because of like obviously female dancers are expected to look a certain way and be a certain way. Um, and you feel really passionate about, our bodies. We just before you come on, you said, my body's different now. It's very different to what it was when you first came into the industry. So like, how do you do that as a female, like in being in that mindset of like going, I have to be a certain way, I have to be a certain way, I have to be a certain way, and maintain and or at least trying to maintain that aesthetically dancer body.
Trying is the most perfect word.
Yeah.
Um, I mean, right now I'm in a bit of a different phase. I kind of like established I was that my mindset has changed throughout the years as well. Because obviously, as we grow up in the industry and we're trained and we are prepared to go out in the industry, you just kind of are told to accept it as the norm, and you don't really question it as to like why. You're just like, yeah, that's just the way that it is. And the industry is slightly changing, and there is a lot more diversity, should we say, within the industry that can very much feel very forced. Um, but there is diversity. But as for actual body shapes and types, I feel like it does kind of remain the same. Um, when I was 18, 21, I couldn't care less. Like, people used to say stuff, I'd just be like, yeah, whatever. I'm just like, this is the way that I am. But unfortunately, your body does change with age. And like, no matter what, like, I did that contract the majority of last year, I still came off and I had my body had changed so much. And that's not because I'm doing less, it's just because unfortunately I'm getting older and my body doesn't work the same ways that it used to.
Yeah.
Um, and the maintenance to upkeep becomes harder than it used to when I was younger, obviously. Um, and what I've been struggling with is that people in the normal world,
The
obviously,
Muggle world.
yeah, the Muggle world, they just look at me and laugh because they're like, "You're being stupid." But as a performer, you know what's required of you to step into that audition room or to step into that job. Say, like, as soon as I get a contract, my first thought is, I need to be physically ready for that contract because I can't go into rehearsals in the shape that I'm in now. And that's not internally, that's mostly physically.
Yeah.
Because it's not as if the job's going to get taken away from me, but I know that I've got costumes that I need to fit into. I've already sent my measurements off, or like they've got my measurements from last time. Um, I know that I need to go and fit into these costumes, and I need to be able to maintain my weight and the way that I look throughout that contract as well, which is also what's really difficult. And people forget that the industry's still like that, and we still get weighed and we still get measured
Do you
each.
still get weighed on NCL?
They've changed it to measurements now, which I personally think is worse.
Yeah, so do I.
But that only happened in the last year.
Right. That's interesting. Because I remember when I first started working for Celebrity, it was both.
Yeah,
You got weighed and you got measured.
yeah.
It wasn't.
And
I never thought about.
people genuinely don't talk about it
No.
because we're so used to it. It's such a norm in our industry. But imagine just rocking up to your 9 to 5 and they're like, yeah,
On the
10
scales.
on the sales, like, oh, you've gone up, you've got a weight warning this month,
Yeah.
like, keep it down. And it I don't know, sometimes I get it for the sense of the costumes and the shows and the partnering and like what you're doing. I understand it to a certain sense. But like a woman's
It's
body fluctuates so much within, gosh, a week.
and I think it's more that pressure that's put on
Yeah.
the you women. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, me, I'm your slim, little bit toned lad. Do you know what I mean? I'm your standard. I'm not going to be a beefcake. No one has to worry that I'm too much in the gym that I can't stretch my arms. Like, you know, but it's harder with women. I think, and I really sympathize massively because it's, even in the audition room, just standing there. Never mind on a ship where if you might be a little bit bloated, your costume's going to feel tighter. You know what I mean? It's completely different for you.
Gosh, I had so many comments on my last contract actually of like people from other departments making comments on my appearance on the stage and being like, "Oh, you're so much skinnier in person." I was like, "Pardon?" Like, "You're so much skinnier in person." I'm like, "What's that supposed to mean?" They're like,
That's
"Well,
shocking.
you're like you look really wide on stage." I was like, "Excellent." And even people that shouldn't be saying things being like, "Oh, you don't fit into this
Yeah,
costume."
that's a culture thing, though, isn't it? They think it's okay to
And
accept
that's
it.
how it gets brushed under the carpet of, oh well,
Yeah,
it's something in our culture. And then
yeah.
that's a whole other, especially in the cruise industry.
That's another episode.
Yeah, because there's only so I flipped my lid
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
because I was like, I feel like when you're on there, all you do is adapt to their culture and you
Yeah,
respect them, and you won't have your shoulders out, you won't have your knees out. Like, I'll cover myself appropriately so I don't get stared at and made to feel uncomfortable.
yeah.
Yeah, you can say that about.
No, exactly. I think we could do a whole nother episode. We need to do another episode.
Yeah.
We will before I go. Well, I'm gonna wrap it up now for this episode. Freaking. But quick questions, quick fires. Ready?
Oh,
I haven't prepared you for this. You've just got to, whatever first comes to the top of your head.
okay.
What's one thing that you have to take on a cruise ship with you? Can be an object, it can be something that's going to help you.
A
Men,
pillow.
love that. Good one.
Take your own pillow or an Udi
Oh, good one.
if you can put it in your luggage.
What is the best destination you've been to on a cruise ship?
Um,
Top of your head.
New York's probably the best one that we went to.
Love that. That's a really good one. What is one thing you wish you'd known before working on a cruise ship?
IPM.
IPM. No, it's true. It's true. Sometimes I work for companies where I'm like, I don't do IPM. Then you come to a new company like, I didn't do this on my last one, but I
Yeah,
get it.
I think just the knowing of it, so you can
Yeah,
prepare yourself for it. Because doing it, it's fine. Like it's a laundry day. It's
yeah,
fine.
yeah. Very true.
It's the knowing of it beforehand. No one, you guys didn't tell me about that beforehand.
Best thing about working on a cruise ship.
The people, the like, I know it sounds cliche from when we were just talking, but it is definitely the people. You get to meet so many different walks of life, and no matter what ship you end up on, or like no matter when you go back, there'll always be someone there, and you've got friends all over the world. And yeah, it's just
People can make or break a contract.
absolutely. And
Yeah,
no matter if your cast isn't that good or like you don't get along with them, let's just say, well, that's not good. But as like if you don't get along with your cast, there's
that's
still
true.
many other people that you can make friends with on the ship. Like
Yeah,
just going and sitting in crew bar and talking to people from all departments and just
yeah,
making friends. It's just that's the
yeah.
way forward. That's what people need to do when they go on a cruise ship.
Absolutely.
Never
And
ask yourself.
and last question, what is one piece of advice you would give someone going to embark their first cruise ship contract?
Be open minded and flexible because everything changes constantly. nothing,
Perfect.
nothing straightforward, is it though?
No, it's not.
Like, even an itinerary, everything
Yeah,
can change in a matter of seconds. So just
yeah, exactly.
keep to yourself, have fun, and find your own pleasures in life. Actually, you know what? Be okay with your own company and then have your own time. Have your own alone time. That's one thing that Siobhan taught me. You need your own alone time when you're on those ships. And you
Yeah,
do because it can get a lot.
I agree.
You're living, you're breathing, you're sleeping, you're crying, you're screaming at each other, you're doing everything all in a small space, all together for 7 months,
Yeah.
maybe longer. And you're alone.
Sometimes longer.
Yeah.
Megan-Lea, thank you so much. Big round of applause. The crowd goes
Bye.
wild. Thank you. Well, there we go. What an amazing interview that was with Meg. Thank you so much once again, Megan-Lea, for coming on. I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you found it insightful and interesting. And, cruise ships are a roller coaster, and that is why I have this podcast and want to tell various different people's stories as well as my own, so that we all have a greater understanding of what ship life is like and the expectations of a performer on a cruise ship, on and off the ship. So yeah, if you did like this episode, please like, follow and subscribe wherever you are listening, and give us a great rating as well. Thank you all so much for listening. We'll be back next time with a brand new episode of the Cruise Ship Diaries, but for now, ciao ragazzi, ta-ra!